where all the team that come up here for this event every year stay, the wonderful Shark Bay Hotel, and will continue to do so into the future. Big thanks also to CDH Electrical, KJB down there in Bunbury, doing big things down there in the southwest with across a range of businesses. John Gall Photography, Celebrations here in Denham, Linthorne Automotive, Shark Bay Aviation, and also Shark Bay Mechanical and Towing Services. Big thanks to all those wonderful people for supporting this year's Far Western Championships, the 38th running, only 2 years away from the 40th anniversary, which promises to be a pretty big one in a couple of years' time. The first heat race of 30 today, and our first event of 38, Wingless Sprints out on track, and will feature car number 94 of Warren Hunter, who was the runner-up in this event last year. Our pole sitter to his outside in car number 43 is Chris Clark out of the Perth metropolitan area. Car number 84 is Darren Humphrey, also out of Perth. And James Bissica in car number 13, who actually does a lot of racing here in Shark Bay, but lives in the southern half of our state. Paysuit heads to the infield. We're set for a green flag. We've got Rhonda Medham, a life member here at Shark Bay, on the flags. Jerome Sutton's our chief steward. Scott Beatty on the timing. And a big thanks to all of the officials here in Shark Bay and the wonderful Shark Bay Speedway Club for making it possible as we get set to go green off turn number 4, the 38th running of the Far Western Championships here in wonderful Shark Bay is underway on this Saturday morning. We're racing into turn number 1 for the first of 8 occasions for our wingless. And a great start from the inside of the second row by Darren Humphrey in 84, looking very racy. Early on in the day, James Bissica trying to work his way to the inside on Chris Clark. But it's 1 down and 7 remaining for Warren Hunter, who's now got company in the form of car number 84 in Darren Humphrey as they slip and slide, duck and dive out of turn number 2. And Darren Humphrey now leads after starting from P3 in car number 84. Wingless Sprints on a very freshly prepared Shark Bay Speedway. Roger Hewitt and the team here in the bay doing a wonderful job the last few days getting the track surface ready to go for today's event. And it's Darren Humphrey with 3 down and 5 remaining in the opening heat race of 30 in this year's event, leading the way from James Bissica. Warren Hunter is under all sorts of pressure to hold on to third place at the moment from Chris Clark in 43. Darren Humphrey on lap number 4 sets his quick time of the race, a 16.381 on lap number 4, so we're over halfway home. As Chris Clark again challenging Warren Hunter for third. As they enter turn number 3 and head down the front straight to our Wingless Sprints, the smallest field at this year's Far Western Championships, but still great to have them in action. Darren Humphrey, one of the heavy hitters of this class here in the West. He's dominating heat number 1 of the day. With 2 to run, he leads by 1.6 seconds. Back to James Bissica, Chris Clark, and Warren Hunter is the way they run. It's now turning into a fairly strung out affair. This opening race of the day for the Wingless Sprints. White flag on display, 1 to run for Darren Humphrey as he exits turn number 2, past the Shark Bay Speedway sign into turn number 3 for the final time. And the driver of car number 84 won the opening heat race of this year's Far Western Championships. He gets it done by 2.1 seconds in the end, back to James Bissica in 13, Chris Clark in 43, and rounding them out was car number 94 of Warren Hunter. And just repeating that quick time, a 16.262 for Darren Humphrey, and he wins by 2.1 seconds back to James Bissica, Chris Clark, and Warren Hunter is the way they finish. Green to checker without a stoppage. Great way to start the day. And heat number 1 of the Wingless Sprints goes the way of Darren Humphrey.
1 down, Phil.
What did you do? You've got some wonderful live timing, and we're set for a start, and we're away and racing. So car number 13 is the local of Bissica out there in front, going around turns 2. Got away nicely. Jerome Sutton, our chief steward, is happy with the start. No restart here. And how long is this track? Don't know, but it's a little bit shorter than Carnarvon's. Carnarvon being 450 on the pole, but a little bit shorter, but It's been widened in recent years, and the concrete wall around here all the way around, which is fantastic. I saw a video of John Standering going over the back straight over there a little while ago, a few years ago. But at the moment, still no changes, rearranges. Hands back, no more bets. It's still James Bissica of Shark Bay and the lucky 13 Wingless, followed by the 43, is it? Yeah. Can't even see. Oh, yeah, 43. How about we... Oh! What's happened? He's gone around. Not my finest hour of commentating. So we've got a car around, and over the one-way communicators, they need to let the drivers know. So we've got here James Bissica from Darren Humphrey and the 43 of Chris Clark and Warren Hunter. So it was in fact Chris Clark in 43 that went around.
4 down, 4 down.
Halfway through, 4 down, 4 to go. So the car of 43 sent to the rear of the field, ready for a restart now. James Bissica will take us away. Humphrey in second place. Oh, down there in Pitt's corner between 1 and 2. A little bit dubious getting around there, but we've got the speed up now and the momentum. We've got the wheels turning nicely. Oh! Bissica going a little bit sideways, got a bit sloppy there. And the 94 there of Warren Hunter going on the infield just a little bit. We'll see what the adjudicators deem there, but we're still under greens now, coming down to complete one more lap. Well, we're going for a pass now, so the person who made the stoppage has picked up another place there. Warren Hunter has just been overtaken by Chris Clark into third place now. Our race leader, Darren Humphrey, and the white flag will come out next time around. Fighting back very hard is the 13 of James Bissica from Shark Bay. White flag is now out. Only one more lap to go for our race leader, which is Darren Humphrey at the moment. Clark and then Hunter. So 4 cars entered and 4 cars will leave. Hopefully under no duress. The checkered flag is now out. Darren Humphrey in the 84 machine takes the win from 13. Only just James Bissica. And then Chris Clark in the 43 and Warren Hunter coming across the line. They're in 4th place. So there you have it, folks, for our Wingless Sprints. And
so big dose of water been put down on the racing surface ahead of heat number 3 of the Wingless Sprints. Darren Humphrey, our pole setter, he's undefeated so far today in car number 84. To his outside, the 13 of James Bissica, who's been there or thereabouts, done a lot of laps here. He comes up and races here at Shark Bay on non-far western weekends in the Wingless Sprints, as does the 94 of Warren Hunter and Greg Clark out there as well in the Wingless Sprints today. Your 4 starters set to go green next time around. Bumper crowd in the house. I was almost struggling to make my way through the bar area. It was absolutely chock-a-block. A few guys down there that I would know that are just waiting for the bar to open. They're going to have a couple of quiet refreshments, and they're definitely not getting behind the wheel of a vehicle to get back to their accommodation tonight in town. They're going to enjoy the festivities, that is for sure. But Darren Humphrey and James Bissica, your front row. Pace shoot on the infield. Yellow lights have gone out. We're going to go green this time around. And the Wingless Sprints brought to us by Celebrations here in Denham. You can find them on Night Terrace 7 days a week. Racing 8 laps ahead of them. And a pretty even dispatch on the front row between James Bissica and also Darren Humphreys, the 13. Got a little bit untidy. Caught out by a little bit of the water down there in turn number 2. And he's opened the door for Greg Clark to sail on through into second place. In car number 43, James Bissica trying to go back with the 43. And rounding them out is Warren Hunter in 94, trying to make his presence felt. The Wingless Sprints slip and slide, duck and dive here in Shark Bay. So they head down the back straight into turn number 3, and Darren Humphrey doesn't have to do anything silly, and he's going to be undefeated in the heat race competition for the Wingless Sprints and will give himself pole position for their final. James Bissica runs very wide in Pitt's corner, just keeps that right rear tyre out of the concrete wall on the exit of turn number 2. as he gathers himself up, still sitting in third place. And running them out is Warren Hunter in car number 94. That with 5 to run, it's Darren Humphrey by 1.5 seconds. Back to Chris Clark, James Bissica, and Warren Hunter doing his own pirouette down there in turn number 2. A little bit of a waltz in car number 94. As the Wingless Sprints make their way to turn 2 and head down the back straight. And Darren Humphrey, the man of the moment at this point in time, as he brings the 84 out of turn 4 into the front straight. Chris Clark and James Bissica sitting in second and third, and running them out is Warren Hunter in car number 94. But our race leader very soon will become our race winner with 2 to run. He brings the 84 to the front straight at 16.553 is his quick time so far. Chris Clark is now feeling the pressure from James Bissica in car number 13 as that gap starts to close on the exit of turn 2 as they head down the back straight. Warren Hunter with a lot of ground to make up after that spin a couple of laps ago. But Darren Humphrey brings the 84 out of turn number 4 and down the back straight for the final occasion. And he's going to lead from the drop of the green flag all the way to the checker. That's Darren Humphrey. Dominant performance. Gets it done in car number 84 from Chris Clark. James Bissica will be third. Then a long way back to car number 94 of Warren Hunter, who will round him out there in the Wingless Sprints. Event number 21, heat 3 of the day for those guys. They've just got their final to come later this afternoon for this 38th annual Far Western Championships. Greg Clark and Warren Hunter going to get a start this time around. In fact, no, the pace sheet is out there, and there was a bit of a drama with the pace sheet, as a lot of you would have seen. Had to do a tyre change on the pace sheet today. Not the day in the year for that to happen, but it does happen sometimes. We'll lead him down the back straight into turn number 3. Look at James Bissica. He ran wide in the opening corner. Big dive bomb on Warren Hunter, who's back in the third place after starting on the outside of the front row on this freshly watered Shark Bay Speedway. But it's Darren Humphrey, your leader, and Chris Clark looks the most likely at the moment to challenge the driver of car number 84. They come off turn number 4 and down the front straight. It's Humphrey, your leader, from Chris Clark further back to James Bissica and Warren Hunter as the Wingless Sprints strut their stuff here at the Shark Bay Speedway. Probably one of the smallest fields we've had for Wingless Sprints in recent years, but a impressive lineup nonetheless. And Darren Humphrey is the man doing the job at the moment. It'll be 4 down and 11 remaining this time around. His quick time so far is 16.562. In fact, he goes slightly quicker on that particular occasion at 16.315. It's Humphrey from Chris Clark, James Bissica and Warren Hunter is the way they run. But 5 down and 10 remaining, or 1/3 of the way home in the Far Western Championships for 2025. And Darren Humphrey looking to add his name to the honour board for the Wingless Sprints. There's a first-time winner of the Far Western Championships as he brings the number 84 into turn number 1, leading Chris Clark and James Bissica. Your top 3, then a bit of a gap back to Warren Hunter. We're halfway home this time around, 7 down and 8 remaining for Darren Humphrey in car number 84 as he sails into turn number 1 here in Shark Bay. Chris Clark has James Bissica trying to run him down, but holding him at bay at the moment. As Darren Humphrey brings the 84 into the front straight. Has 7 laps between himself and his first victory in a Far Western Championship and goes through the day undefeated. As he brings the car through turns 3 and 4 to the front straight. 9 down and 6 remaining. James Bissica in car number 13 trying to run down Chris Clark for second. But Darren Humphrey, your leader. He comes out of turn number 4 and down the front straight in car number 84. Let's check that margin. 5.6 seconds back to Chris Clark, who is now feeling the blowtorch from James Bissiker in car number 13. Bissiker with a big lunge into turn number 3. Looks to the inside on Chris Clark with 4 to run. Of the Shark Bay Speedways, our leader comes up on Warren Hunter. As they enter turn number 3, there'll be 3 to run this time around for Darren Humphrey in car number 84. As James Bissiker trying to close the gap on Chris Clark in car number 43. But out of turn 2 and down the back straight into turn number 3. This is where it will be quite interesting for our leader. Coming up on the lap car of Warren Hunter. And how he goes about negotiating this. It's car 94 and 84. 94 Warren Hunter, the first of the lap cars. And the 84 Darren Humphreys, they enter turn number 3. Bit of a gap back to Chris Clark and James Bissiker. But out of turn number 4, 1 to run of the Shark Bay Speedway. For the driver of car number 84, Darren Humphrey, as he exits turn number 2 and down the back straight for the final occasion. Looks like we're going to go green to checker without a stoppage in the first final of the day. And it goes the way of the Wingless Sprint champion for 2025, Darren Humphrey. He's your winner. From Chris Clark will be runner-up in car number 43. Then the 13 of James Bissiker will round out your podium with car number 94 of Warren Hunter rounding them out. Winning margin was 4.4 seconds with a quick time on the race is 16.064 for the driver of car number 84, Darren Humphrey. Give him a round of applause, Shark Bay, especially down there in the bar. Our first Far Western champion for 2025 is Darren Humphrey in car number 84. Defeats Chris Clark and James Bissiker. They'll be your podium in the Wingless Sprints final for 2025.